And we're back on Flashpoint with our guest, Representative Sally Kern, her opponent, Brittany Novotny. And before we went to break, Kirk had some questions for Brittany that Sally's going to answer too.
You want them again?
I did
what
hear
book or which books have most influenced your life? What are you reading right now? Who are your heroes, both in politics and in life in general? And then what's the proper role of government, and how would you describe your political philosophy?
You know, those are great questions. One book that had a great impact on my life as I was going through a spiritual journey a few years ago and really trying to find my place in the world and how I felt about moving forward was Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. It was a great exploration of spirituality and how that plays a role in our lives.
Which was turned into a movie.
And it was. I actually haven't got to see the movie because I've been out knocking a lot of doors and haven't really had a chance to do it. And then as far as some of my heroes, my mom was first and foremost my #1 hero. She ran businesses, she ran nonprofits, and just, you know, taught me the value of giving back to your community and making sure you're out there making your community a better place. As far as political heroes, you know, I look up to somebody like a Henry Bellman, who really worked across the aisle and found ways to work together as Oklahomans towards solutions to our issues. And as far as the proper role of government, I believe the proper role of government is that which is stated in our state constitution, which talks about providing a public education that's free and open to all children in Oklahoma. I believe it means investing in public safety and in transportation infrastructure and keeping government really focused on those things that help facilitate economic development to make sure that we're moving forward and letting people have the freedom to do their lives and do the businesses that they think are necessary and have a good market for them.
And how would you describe your political philosophy personally?
My personal political philosophy is one of government investment in those necessary things that help to promote economic growth.
Okay. Sal?
Well, I think books was the first answer, first question you had.
Most influential, and what are you reading right now?
Well, to be honest with you, the book I read the most, read every day and try to read it through every year, is the Bible. I'm an avid reader, so I read a lot of other books. Nancy Pearcey has a great book. You may have never heard of it. It's called Total Truth. Political heroes.
And life heroes.
Life heroes. Well, you know, my parents were just fabulous, of course, but really my hero is my husband. My husband is one of the most meekest,
Steve Kern.
humble Steve Kern, men that you will ever meet, and just has a big heart to give and to help people.
Let me just say this, Olivet Baptist Church, it's in the inner city, 10th and Klein. And when I was mayor, I got to know Steve Kern quite well. No church does a better job of staying where they are and ministering to that community. And that's a challenged community. They have a free medical clinic there once every 3 weeks.
We have an HIV counseling center too now. You know, we have all kinds of things. They fix up homes
for people.
Yeah. But my husband just, I mean, I just thank the Lord for him. Political heroes. Gosh, of course, Ronald Reagan's a big hero of mine. Being the government teacher that I was, I really like the founding of our nation. And John Adams is one of my favorites. He's just was a godly man and a good president, and his political philosophy aligns very much with mine. And I think that was the last question you had.
Proper role of government.
Proper role of government is to protect our individual rights. As it says in the Declaration of Independence, it says life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And so government ought to not get in the way of us being able to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It should be there to provide the main functions of government, but then allow us, the people, to be able to live our lives to the fullest extent.
Sally, I read a lot about Oklahoma being on the cutting edge, and the whole nation, I might add.
Yes, we are.
In what we call early childhood development. And I've heard you make some fairly critical statements about early childhood development in Oklahoma. What are your problems with what we do?
Well, here's my problem. When the best thing, and I think everybody would agree with this, is to have intact families where children are able to be at home until, say, 6 years old, and they can go and be in school. But unfortunately, we don't have that. We have a lot of divorce and separation things. And so we've come up with the idea, well, let's put children into school at an early age. And I think when you have a child who is from a broken home and they need special help, then okay, that's all right. But let's leave our children at home if at all possible. But the problem that I had that you're addressing, I think, Mike, is that the Even Start and Head Start programs that are for children as young as 2 years of age, they do have teaching in there where they start talking to our children, our young children, about different lifestyles, about diversity and things like that. I mean, it's in there. I've read the federal statutes.
What's diversity mean to you? Is that a scary word? Is that a scary concept?
No, I mean, look at how diverse we are here. You know,
that's what they're teaching is diversity. Go ahead. What's that mean to you?
What they're basically teaching is lifestyles that are no longer, or that once, many years ago, were not considered normal, and now they're saying, hey, you know, let's be so diverse, everything is fair game. Everything is okay. And I'm just a person that believes that in God's Word it gives us certain standards, and we need to live by those. So that's basically
What's
where
your
I stand.
concept of public education in Oklahoma, including early childhood development, which you got some concerns about, it sounds like?
You know, I think our early childhood development programs are one of the bright spots of our public school systems here in Oklahoma. We're looked to as a national model for some of these pre-K
That's true,
and
and
Head Start
I never said we
programs.
weren't. Yeah.
And one thing Representative Kern has talked about is reading being one of our education issues. But because of these early childhood programs, we have actually a very high reading proficiency in Oklahoma. We're graduating students, 80.9% of them are very proficient readers. So I think our schools are doing some great things. I do think we need to look at ways to consolidate administration to save some money at the top. Instead of having administrators getting all that money, let's get it into technology and textbooks in the classroom so that our kids are benefiting from that money rather than the administrators.
That consolidation word is kind of a scary word in
yeah.
Oklahoma
Boy,
politics.
it is.
I'm a little shocked to hear you use it.
Yeah.
But what do you mean,
Yeah.
consolidated administration? What does that mean?
Well, you know, we have the 6th highest amount of school districts in the country.
So you're in favor of forcing consolidation of those districts?
I think we need to consolidate the administration in a lot of these districts. We don't need to have that many school districts and
That's,
being redundant in our
You wanted to say
behavior.
something.
Well, I was going to say that consolidation is something that we have talked about a lot at the Capitol. And boy, when you, like you say, when you mention that word, the rural legislators especially just, you know, are very adamant against it. I would like to say,
Steve
though,
Largent boldly led on that issue.
yes,
Well, and
he did,
I think
but
they
it's a-
have some real concerns
Well,
because they
sure
are
they do,
concerned about
their
shutting down
towns, their
schools
towns and things.
and I don't
But
want to
I
shut
would
down
like to
schools.
make one comment.
Go ahead.
Is this just came out with a report about schools that are on the needs improvement list, and of the various reasons that are given, most of them are not being reading at proficiency, and so you know, we have a real problem with that. We need to teach reading better than we're doing. And the thing that I have said all the time out there at the Capitol is reading is a skill. It's not a subject matter. And so we need to be making sure that our elementary students know how to read from kindergarten to 3rd grade. We need to do a better job of that, and that's why I've introduced 3 different bills that dealt with that. But I never said that our education programs are not the best in the nation. We have the best teachers, we have the best training programs and everything. I'm just against starting children into school at such an early age. I would much rather have them be able to be at home with their families. They're going to be gone enough.
I'm
as
getting
time
a
goes on.
really hard rap cue right here. Our time has flown by with Brittany Novotny and Sally Kern. We both appreciate you coming on very much and addressing these issues which have come up in the media and of course have come up at the state legislature. Good luck to both of you in your campaign, and we'll see
Thank
how
you,
it
Kevin.
winds up on
Gee,
November
time's
2nd.
already up.
Yeah, it flies
Wow,
by.
how time flies and you're having fun.
Thanks for
We'll be
being on.
right back on
Thank you.
Flashpoint.
Thanks for being on.
Yep.